PhantomStar.com, Twitter, YouTube, Podomatic, and iTunes. This is brought to you by Loot Crate and Tweaked Audio. Now it's time for the Guys Night Podcast!
Step in the theater, what do you find? So many movies, not enough time. Action, thriller, horror, comedy, even foreign documentaries. So there's something out there new to review. We try to step it up with a G and crew. Better prepare, welcome to Step in the theater, what will you find? So many movies, not enough time. Action, horror, thriller, comedy, foreign documentaries. Welcome to Guys Night. Guys Night.
Alright, so we just got out of the slow-paced Assassin's Creed. IMDb, we have Michael Fassbender.
Magneto.
Yeah. Jeremy Irons.
Alfred.
I mean, what's the black guy's name? He was in,
His name was Musa.
I know he was in, the Purge movies.
He's also from, The Wire.
Yeah.
Omar.
Marion, Cartlet, I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Talia al Ghul.
Yeah. Brendan Gleeson and Charlotte Rampling. Oh yeah, played the mom.
Yeah.
So, this is based on the adaptation of the video game. Now, me personally, I've played it before, but I don't know the main gist of the story, but I know of Assassin's Creed, so...
Okay.
Sean, you can... Yeah.
So, when it comes to Assassin's Creed, it's like this. You have the Assassins and the Assassin's Order. You have, them trying to protect free will, everything else like that. So, their main enemy is the Templars. And they've been their enemy since... As long as the Assassin's been around, Templars been around. And for years, they've killed each other, and all for these artifacts of Eden. Basically, like Apple Eden.
Oh, yeah, from the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, Garden of Eden, everything else like that. And from the lore, it's like you get the apple, you can actually control people, which you kind of saw at the end. Like, if you had full control. Like, yeah, it's supernatural elements in certain points in the video games.
And it's historic in some points.
Yes, but, like, the games can translate it because there's actually more time in the game. You really can't cram this into a movie. If you needed to do something like Assassin's Creed, you need an actual television series or Netflix series or something on Amazon Prime. And take your time and get into the lore of certain things.
See, and that's the thing that I think hit me, because Rashawn's seeing it from a game's point perspective, I'm seeing it from a movie perspective, and I'm not gonna lie, Assassin's Creed is probably one of the slowest paced films ever. Like, it's just, oh my gosh, character wise, you have these moments where things are explained briefly, all right? And while there is a lot of lore that's in the video game, I feel like it wasn't executed well here. It was just you should know this because you played the game. Well, Joe Schmo me goes into the movie, I'm just trying to watch a good movie, they're not going to know. So, it's one thing about an Assassin's Creed movie is that you want to introduce, a fan base so that you can create a fan base to get them into the theater, not just make a movie just strictly for the gamers. And I feel like Assassin's Creed failed on that mark. Again, I was bored. I was just why are we moving so slow? Why is the pacing like this? Why is it that there are subplots that just get rushed, like the father subplot? We're going to talk about this, the apple, and then after that, we're just going to leave it as is. Oh, we have to get it. And then the dreadful ending where it's just we're really just going to end, right there? It's just, and I understand, maybe they're setting it up for a sequel, but sad truth is that...
No, they're doing it.
I don't know. They say that all the time.
Actually, no. Ubisoft. They would have probably made more money. They're probably going to make not that much money, and they kind of wait in there knowing that they're not going to make enough money because they're releasing it during December. It's a week after Star Wars.
It got number 4 at the box office. Like, it
Exactly.
didn't do well. That's why
Exactly.
I'm
It was like, this is a movie that if you're gonna do it, you gotta release during the summer. Their marketing team knew that certain things is going to get this way, but technically, like, I know more internal stuff is kind of going on, but they had to kind of get this movie going and trying to get their actual stuff out there because they have Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs movie, The Division movie, and Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell movie, which will be with Tom Hardy. And
See,
Division.
that
and
seems more interesting.
That's
Like,
gonna,
it's-
so like they want to get this studio and everything start going. So once they get this stuff ball rolling, you can get these other movies and actually have some good quality stuff. But it also comes down to, like, this year they didn't, like, usually Assassin's Creed is a yearly game. They always have one. They have about maybe 50 studios, and every different studio is making another game without the other one knowing until, like, certain points in development. So this year they've decided to lay back, take some time developing the game because sometimes it's repetitive, and now they've gone that it's like, okay, we're gonna have a game, we're gonna have a movie. Game, movie, game, movie. Something else like that to continue with the lore. And the character Musa is actually from the game. His character is from.
Which one was that? The black guy, right?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
from the first female Assassins game they had, and that one followed a New Orleans assassin.
So there was fan service then.
Yeah, there was
Okay,
like that.
it seems like that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of fan service here, but as a whole, it's like meh. Now, I will say this, like, I honestly, in my movie experience, because this rarely happens when I watch a movie, I said, you know what? I'm literally going to just walk out to get something to eat or go to the bathroom. Like, even for a movie, we just saw, like, listen to that podcast also. We just saw Why Him. I had to really pee. And I held it in because I was like, there was some form of entertainment that was keeping me into that seat. Assassin's Creed had none of that, and I was like, let me just walk out, and I missed an action sequence. But I asked Rashawn, did it have anything to do with the story? Did it make the story flow? He was like, no, it was just an action sequence, and I'm like, okay, so I really didn't miss anything. While what it might have been spectacles and lights, it doesn't push the movie forward. So essentially, I would have the same experience whether I saw that or not. And that's not, I should want to be glued into my seat when I watch a movie. I should want to have that entertainment value. And this isn't it from a movie standpoint. Now, that's just my opinion. Now, we've seen movies with fan service. And you know what? Even looking back from video game perspectives, Warcraft, when that came out, heard it had a lot of fan service, but overall, it really did poorly.
No, it did a lot of money overseas.
Overseas,
That's
but
that's
the killer.
And that's the part that's it's probably going to get a sequel because of that.
Maybe. I mean, if there's even like a perk of interest, but then you have movies like, I don't know, there's the track record for video game movies is really not that good. Maybe Resident Evil, but that's only because they're so cheap to make.
Silent Hill's good.
Silent Hill, but like, when's the last time what was it, like,
No, like
2010? That's why I'm like, like, there's not like an ongoing series, but Assassin's Creed, I'm not gonna lie, like, I saw it, I said, visually, I think, like, maybe it has potential, and, I went in here with no expectations. I knew, like, hearing it was bad, but I said I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, and I walked out not interested, like, just, I really don't want to see this looking forward, and of the two movies, like, I'm sorry to say, I'm giving it a 1 out of 4. That's just my opinion.
I saw that coming a
Yeah.
mile away. It's fine, but me, I see this from my perspective because I've played almost about every game, not the portable ones, but I've played all the main ones on the Xbox 360, PS3, PS4, and all that. And I know how the story goes, and I know all the lore. So when I'm seeing the movie, like me, I'm coming from a fan already, and I'm seeing the stuff they're going to do in here. It's like, okay, so basically they took a lot of stuff from the first and second game. One thing they did adapt is the Animus, because in the game you're really just like the person himself is laying down in a machine. A visor goes on top of his head, and he goes into the Animus, and you see the memories on the screen. and you're seeing that from like, okay, you're monitoring his memories and stuff like that, what they were doing. This way they actually bring it out, and it's like, okay, you see the person getting the muscle movements and watching as he's actually developing into more of his ancestors' memories, and that's the reason why you see like the fight sequence and stuff like that, and he retains all that. So the bleeding effect is like he sees his ancestor's trying to talk to him and trying to tell him, try to guide him the way he's supposed to go, and it's very enjoyable for those moments because that's like, oh, that stuff is straight from the game. And the best parts of the movie, I have to say, is like when you're in the Animus and you're watching stuff. The downfall is when you're outside the Animus, it's slow. I mean, slow as fuck.
And there's no interest. Like, even in the dialogue, I felt so bad for Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons and Michael Fassbender, I felt so bad for them. Like, I'm just like, how are you swallowing this? Like, it's just... This is just so
They
out of your league. Like,
truthfully, they wasted Jeremy Irons in that character because there was a show on Showtime called The Borgias, and it followed Rodrigo Borgia. And in the video game, Rodrigo Borgia is he eventually becomes the Pope, but he's also a Templar. And it came down to it that it was assassins to try to go after him, and it ended up being like Rodrigo Borgia was like the main villain for 3 video games straight, and he was a fierce person. And you seeing he's using the power of the church and everything else like that. His son Cesare going after stuff like that, and Jeremy Irons, he played that character on Showtime perfectly. He could have been something like
that character.
You could have took him from the second Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations, all 3 following that story, and just like, okay, you put Jeremy Irons in that character and be ruthless and be the person who has like the one bodyguard, like the one security guard, like, well, he was a one guard, and see how he was, like, he could have played his son, and they could have had that dynamic of father-son, and he has respect for the assassins, but at the same time, you know, they're the enemy, and he could have been the enforcer, father's one giving orders, and that dynamic, and they could have did that story in the Animus. Because the way the games have gone is like you've always had the inside the Animus and the outside stuff. And as it gone along, you kind of learn, it's like, we don't really care about the outside stuff that much. We'll take the cutscenes to get the story along because we enjoy the story, but give us all the stuff inside. And the one action sequence that you missed is like a lot of the fight sequence you see from the game, and the parkour, the actually like running across buildings, going across like ropes and everything. Like, you actually it's like a lot of practical stuff. It's not like a lot of CGI or anything in that sequence. It's like Fassbender actually doing this stuff, and the woman's doing this stuff along with him, and it's really enjoyable. I'm like, that's what I want to see, but if you're not going to give me the story in the game and at the same time,
care about it,
we don't care.
So what's your overall score?
I'll give it 2.
A 2? All right, so that's going to round it off to a 1.5.
Yeah, that's about it, because they could have done way better with this if you just... Because when I first...
Just care.
Yeah, like, Ubisoft cares, but they kind of messed up because... when I first seen the movie and everything on the trailer, and they said it's like, okay, it's gonna be this 40% Animus, 60% outside, and that's not how these games go nowadays.
See, and I think to this, like, end off on this, like, I think the greatest example of this was this past year, Turtles 2, Out of the Shadows. Movie, great on fan service, but I will still say that the first Turtle movie did a better job as a movie than Turtles 2. I will still say that, even though Turtles 2 had greater fan service.
Yeah.
Like, I will still agree that Ninja Turtle, even, I'm not saying they're both, like, that one's a better movie, you know, well, one is a better movie. I'm not saying they're both, like, Hallmark, Academy Award-winning movies, but I can at least see that, like, you know, they paid homage to it, but they didn't forget to make a good movie and get people interested in the brand. I felt like Assassin's Creed failed on that mark. So, overall score is a 1.5. I can't wait till next week. Fences and maybe La La Land, I don't know. But until next time, this has been Jared Avery.
Rashawn.
All right, be sure to like. Oh man, take two on this one. Be sure to like us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Podomatic, iTunes.
YouTube. Check out our websites. We got them there. We have Awesome Con coming up this year. Trying to get into San Diego Comic-Con.
Fingers crossed.
Yep. Jared is going to Celebration this year, so he gets to do some coverage down there and
Yeah.
do some stuff.
I will be in Celebration in Florida. I'll bring my camcorder and everything. So yeah.
And most likely we'll probably get into New York Comic-Con. So you might get us there too. So enjoy us. We're gonna have fun along this year. New stuff for site, new stuff for YouTube page, and get some stuff going down. And maybe we'll do some vlogs, something else like that.
All right. Until next time, do for the sake of the podcast. Until next time.
We're out.